This video is brought to you by Bitbox NES game cases. There's no better way to protect, store, and show off your NES game collection. Only available at stoneagegamer.com/bitbox. What's going on, guys? My name is John with Gamester81.com. In this video, I'm going to... What in the world? Who in the heck is calling me? Jeez. Hello?
John, what's up, man? Hey, thanks for answering.
Oh, hey, Aaron. What's going on, man? How you doing? Yeah, I'm actually in the middle of doing a video right now. What's going on?
You know, I have a problem. I think I've been slapping Ricky a little too much. Lately, he's been trying to kill me like every week, week after week. Do you have any advice for me?
Oh, bro, you gotta do what I do, man. Do the Konami code, and it will work every time, I guarantee you.
Konami code? Okay, I guess I'll give it a shot. Oh! It works! Oh!
Number 10.
So, Base Wars was released in 1991, if I remember correctly, and that's a really fun baseball game.
It is very fun.
The cool thing is you don't have to be a baseball fan to like the game, because I'm not a big sports fan.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Base Wars is definitely a great game for the NES, and it's actually by Ultra, which Ultra is the division of Konami, for those who didn't know, because Nintendo had such strict regulations on how many games different developers could actually publish for the NES. So what they did is, a loophole to get around that is they actually developed their own subsidiary, and they called it Ultra, so they were able to release more games.
But there's a lot of fighting in that game. You fight for bases. Me and Ricky played it together, and we were having a blast laughing at the game.
It's so much fun. All the characters, all the different characters you can be when you fight.
Yeah, that's cool. The robots.
Dude.
You're all cyber. You're robots.
You're a tank.
You're a tank. You're a hovercraft.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of baseball games for the NES. There's a handful. There are a dime a dozen, to be honest with you. But Base Wars was unique in the sense, you know, when it came out, I was 10. We were playing it. I'm like, wow, this is like playing baseball in like 2013, the future. Yeah, one of my favorite elements of Base Wars is rather than throwing the ball, they actually fire it out, which is pretty sweet.
Number 9.
Yo, dude. So, Skater Die, I think the funniest thing to me about that game is you're a skater, and you go into a skate shop to pick what event you want to do, whether it's joust or the half pipe, or a jam. But the funniest thing to me is the owner looks exactly like Rodney Dangerfield. He's got the big old bug eyes and everything, so...
Oh yeah, Skater Die came out in 1988. Actually, it was Konami, but they actually worked with Electronic Arts with the game as well. It kind of reminds me of California games for skaters. All these different things all had skating elements to it.
But some of my memories with that game would definitely be the joust. It's just super fun. It's like you would think in American Gladiators, but with skateboards, and it's fantastic. The half pipe, I think, is kind of the downfall. Most people didn't really understand it.
I couldn't play it that well. The half pipe, dude, it was hard for me.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's really hard to control unless you know how to do it. But
I really like the downward jam, I think it's called, where you actually can play, especially two-player, can go down this hill. It's kind of like Paperboy style graphics and gameplay, but you actually can hit each other, and it's actually a lot of fun. It's a great game.
The downhill jam is really fun in the races. That's a fun game. I don't know if it's because I skated most of my life, if I'm biased towards it, but I hope not. But Skater Die is a great game. I know a lot of people might disagree on that one, but nostalgic values too, as someone who's grown up in the 80s. You can't deny the mohawks in that game. There's some radical hair, and there's like, they say a bunch of funny 80s tubular words, so that game's a win.
Number 8.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Tiny Toon Adventures was my favorite cartoon shows growing up, but it actually was ported to the NES and by Konami. It was actually a pretty good platforming game. I love the graphics. The music was decent.
Tiny Toons is a great game, and a lot of people compare it to... Doesn't it look like Mario 3?
Yeah, that's like what I was going to say is like one of the main comparisons, it seems like.
There are actually 6 worlds in this game. Really love the graphical style, great platforming. It definitely reminds me of like a Super Mario Bros. 3 type of clone. But Konami did a great job of making this game its own.
The side-scrolling, like the layout of the game, it seems a lot like some of the levels you see in Super Mario Bros. 3, but hey, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
That is not.
The character sprites are bright and big. And something that I think is really good in the game is the music. You know, it has the tiny, we're toony, we're all little loony. But it sounds really good on the system. It's not really broken up or crunchy or anything.
It is Konami. They do.
Yeah, it sounds really smooth.
One hidden secret about this game was there's actually a hidden boss. His name was Duck Vader, which is a spin-off of Darth Vader. Basically what you had to do is you collect carrots in the game, and if you collect enough carrots in one particular level, which is a multiple of 7, he actually comes and comes to you, and you have to beat him. If you actually beat him without dying once, you get 3 lives, which is kind of cool. And I thought that, being a huge Star Wars fan, I thought that was kind of clever. And he was actually a character in the show. It was cool that they actually put him in the game as well.
Number 7.
Bucky OHare. Wow, now that is a game.
That's an underrated game, too.
Such a good game. Honestly, I think you can pick from 5 characters. There's Bucky.
Yeah, 4 or 5 characters. I think there's 5, Ricky.
I'm pretty sure there's 5. There's Bucky, Deadeye Duck. Oh my goodness.
The little boy.
The little boy, the cat girl, and then the android or whatever the little cretin is.
Mech looking thing.
We'll just say it's Mike from Monsters Inc.
Sure, it's Mike from Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bucky OHare. This game came out in 1992, also based on a cartoon show in the 90s, which was very short-lived, which was based on a comic book, but they had a toy line. It was kind of to compete with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the time. Very short-lived, but the game itself, I actually love the music of Bucky OHare. This game is freaking really hard though.
That is a great game. Like we said, it's been getting, I think, a little more coverage lately in the retro world, but if you haven't played Bucky OHare by Konami,
you have to get it.
It's really good, and music, which we have talked about before, is fantastic on that game. It's like the yellow planet, the red planet, the blue planet. All of those theme songs are extremely well done and extremely well composed. And the game's super hard.
A lot of people call it Konami's version of Mega Man. There's 6 stages in Bucky OHare. The whole point of the game is you're supposed to save your crew, and when at the end of each stage, when you do save a crew member, you actually can switch and play as that crew member, which is kind of unique. So you don't necessarily get their abilities, but you can actually switch and play as them, which come in handy.
We'll give it that. The game, it's kind of like Mega Man. I know a lot of people compare it to
It's a lot like Mega Man, but the 5 characters, like Deadeye Duck has the spreader gun.
Yeah,
How cool is that?
That's awesome. Something that the music does, I feel like, in the game is that the music is so fast though, and like upbeat, that it keeps you going even though the levels are
so
extremely hard. There's some like crazy platforming in some of those levels too that's like...
It's like fast. There's a level that's like you jump on platforms, you gotta do it fast.
And it goes for like 2 minutes. It's when people say NES hard, I feel like this is definitely a game that you should use when you're comparing that, because Bucky OHare doesn't mess around.
Number 6.
Blades of Steel. Blades of Steel. I don't know if you guys know my channel or not, or our channel, but if you do, I labeled that as the best sports game on the NES.
Aaron's favorite sports game.
It might be my favorite sports game of all time, for real.
The way he talks about it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is such a fun game. A lot of games don't hold up, and for being a sports game, that holds up no matter what you're into.
Blades of Steel came out in 1988. It is a great sports game for the NES. The thing about Blades of Steel though is it always hurt my thumb. These type of games always kill my thumb because they play them forever.
For being that old, honestly, the handling on it is amazing.
It's amazing. The controls are so tight. Something I love is that when you want to pass to a certain player, it goes to that player. It's not one of those sports games where you mean to throw it to someone or pass a ball to someone or hit your puck to somebody and you go, oh, pushing the other way. You have no excuse on this game. Where you're shooting, where you're passing to is where the puck is going.
Oh, I love the voice work too. I mean, the voiceovers, this was a very early game for the NES, one of the first games to have like real voiceovers.
Yeah,
tournaments on that it's fun.
I just won $20 on a tournament playing that game. So that's really fun. There's not too much music in the game, but the music that is there is super catchy, super memorable. Something I thought was funny is in the halftime shows, it's like a little ad for like Life Force and Contra. So it's like self-promoting. That's pretty cool. That's pretty smart. I mean, hey, Konami didn't need to promote.
Oh, there was actually 8 total teams that were in Blades of Steel. You had 4 Canadian teams and 4 US teams. I'm not sure why they didn't represent Europe and the rest of the world, but man, Blades of Steel is based on an arcade, which a lot of people don't realize. Konami had a Blades of Steel arcade game, which is great in itself, but for me, this is a must-own for the NES.
And what do you do to the puck?
Yeah, in the game when you start, the guy says get the puck or get the pass or something. You don't really know what he's saying, but it's awesome.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
honestly, that's all you can say.
Yeah, so if you're into sports or not, and unlike Base Wars where that's, you know, your robots, which keeps you interested, these are real hockey-looking players, and you're still interested even if you're not into sports.
Fun.
So, highly recommend Blades of Steel.
That concludes part 1 of the top Konami games for the NES. Big thank you to Aaron and Ricky for their contributions to this series. I'll put a link to their channel and show below. If you guys want to stay connected, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch TV, among others. I'll put links below, as well as follow me on my website, along with Aaron and Ricky at Gamester81.com. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for commenting, and of course, thanks for subscribing. We'll see you guys soon. Happy gaming.